Good morning. I'm going to ask Andrea to join me here. There we go. Good morning. Thank you for joining. And there, we did
Great.
it. Good morning.
Good morning. Hello, everybody.
Oh, sorry. There we go.
All right.
How are you this morning?
I see you. I'm good. I see you found a nice yarny background for our chat.
Good. My printer is just right over there, but I'm sitting sideways.
Yeah, so we don't have to think about the printer.
Yeah.
Nice
No one needs to know.
Cool. All right. Well,
oh, that's wonderful.
Yay. Welcome, everybody.
Do you want to start? Yeah.
I feel like we're talking over each other today. Maybe where there's a lag or something. I don't know. We'll give each other extra pauses, but while everybody is joining, we are planning to share the projects from earlier in the summer, just as a little recap, because the August project was our third project and our final summer club for 2023, which it was pretty cool this year, going back to the 3-project version, because we've played around, especially since the pandemic, with like different styles of doing the club. And we went back to the 3-project idea, and it was great. I really liked it. I think I want to do that again next year. We haven't actually talked about it, but it worked really well for me, and I really liked it. So yeah, I was going to talk about just a recap. This year's club was inspired by the ocean a little bit in general, which is kind of a big theme. But then we narrowed down based on some photos that I took, based on some conversations, sketches, some color swatches that Catherine made. And our first project ended up being based on moon jellies. And this was our first project, this lovely little brimmed cap with the jellyfish structures at the top, which, yes, are sex related. So those are gonads, but we didn't really advertise that fact, but they are really cute, and I think they're really charming. That was on the the inspiration. We were like, oh, that's such a sweet look, and then we looked up what they are, but I still think it's clever and sweet. So
yep, that's what a jellyfish is. There's no judgment. It's just they live in their
everybody
lives.
Needs them. Yeah. So yeah. So that was our first project, and we used a really cool gradient yarn in this one. And the clever bit was that the color work at the top used the same color as the very beginning of the project. So as you worked through, you could use the other end of the yarn for the color work, and the skein was symmetrical. So that was a fun thing with that project. And we had sort of like the watery, transparent vibe of the jelly. And then our next project was a sock that was based on the giant Pacific octopus, which sort of blends into their environment. So we have this lace pattern with these big holes that I was thinking about suckers on the jellies, or on the octopus arms, and the background of sort of a kelp forest and deep ocean. So that was our second project. So what do you think? Has it been long enough? Should we go ahead and reveal?
I think you should reveal the third project.
Great. Okay, so our third project was a cowl. And I think I'm going to be biased and say this was my favorite project for the summer. The cowl is knit as a really long tube, and then it's folded in half and grafted. And one thing I like about it is that depending on how you wear it, it can look completely different. So this is the side that's inspired by the ocean itself and waves. So those gray bits are sort of inspired by white caps and crashing waves. But then if you want to switch what side is facing out, see if I can do this cleverly.
There you go. You got it.
There we go. So this is a little simple lace pattern with little cables in between. And that's sort of like the tide going out. So that was sort of a two-part thing. And then you could also do it, of course, half and half with little white caps showing and then some cable-y lace. So yeah, this project was worked as a long tube, and then you sort of like bring one end into the other end, and then it's grafted. So the join is actually right here, and I really love that a grafting join can be so like visible. So yeah, that is the project, and it used short row shaping with garter stitch and a simple lace. So Catherine, do you want to talk about developing the color a little bit?
Yeah, we just got a comment that says the gray and white looks like orcas, which I hadn't seen before, but actually I love that, like the kind of curve of the...
Oh, like breaching.
Yeah.
That is cool. I really like that. Also, one thing I just love about this is that these short row sections are worked exactly the same as each other, all of them. This is worked in the exact same way as that one. Like, how? It's just the magic of the yarn, like the way that when it changes color and the way that the stripes are arranged and everything, it just has this effect of making them look very different.
Mm-hmm. Right, and because the yarn is so stretchy.
Slowly. Please share the grafted line slowly. I'm going to do that again.
Yeah.
And then Catherine, you can talk about the colors while I show this on the screen.
Yeah, so the colors, we had gone a lot more colorful for the first two projects. And I think a thing that Andrea and I do every year is we throw like a million ideas at a project, and then we're like, okay, that's a bit too much, and like pull one thing back and then keep pulling stuff back until we're like, is this maybe not enough? But I really like where we landed on this one. We were originally worried that there was going to be like just too much blue in this club, but it's an ocean themed club. That's the theme we picked. There's no making the ocean less blue, so we went for it. And I do like, I think it goes well as a collection, all of them together, but they each are quite different. Yeah, if you can hold those up. So this, putting together this colorway, this is one where the yarn and the pattern like really work together. So before we, the grafting is gray meets blue. Yeah, you really can't see it. It just looks like another row of stitches. Mm-hmm. Or if that's not your thing and you want to join it with like a crochet join or something around and make that a feature, you can just do that too.
Just like that, that's it. That's the join. Some of the fun of the self-striping is that like that join spot is just like, oh, it's just like another stripe. So
yeah, so for this one I had played around with really just like blues and grays and ocean colors, and then when we went back and forth with the pattern, realized some of my distinctions were a little too, it looked cool, but they were too subtle because the pattern has to be able to say, like, when you get to pale gray, do this thing, and when you get to dark gray, go back to stockinette. And so we couldn't have something that was like a medium gray, because what do you do with that? Or like originally I was thinking maybe in the blue section we could have dark gray, and in the dark gray section we could have light gray, and then it was just like, this is going to be impossible to knit and super frustrating. So we just scaled it back. So this is the exact same skein that Andrea is holding, but just knit into a tube. And then there's like a whole just plain blue section that I didn't knit up. So the pale gray is actually, I'll show my mouth here. The pale gray is actually pretty evenly distributed. But then where exactly each one starts on that larger circumference decides where they appear. So they should be evenly from one side to the other. You should get roughly evenly distributed white caps. But whether they all fall on like the front of the cowl or the side of the cowl or evenly around is entirely just like the knitter's gauge and that exact skein of yarn. So that'll be different from person to person.
And that's one thing
you just
I love about these projects is just that they are designed to be, they give you the instruction of what to do, but they are also like little watercolors rather than a coloring sheet. It's like, it's very subtle and each one will be tiny bit different. So we've just thought it had a comment. I've changed my mind. It's more like humpbacks, which is cool. So I do really appreciate the whale vibe that people are getting from this, because we definitely wanted to think about like the ocean and the creatures in the ocean and the waves, and all of that goes together.
Yeah, and next year when we have this like back for sale, we should talk about the humpbacks that we put in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We'll let people know that some of those, are they waves? Are they whales? Your choice.
Yeah.
So should I talk a little bit about the idea of substituting yarn for this project?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And also neither of us, I think I have the sample somewhere and I can't find it. But the other kind of first step on this was deciding how big we wanted those, the white caps or the whale backs, how much yarn we wanted in each, like how long and how tall, and then how many of them. So we had a few iterations on that too.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me to grab this sample. So this was one of my first tries that I never actually finished. Oh, we got a comment, reminds me of the woven art that folks do with textured wools. I agree. I've seen those weavings and I've tried doing that and it is very cool. So yeah, I agree with that. But this was one of my first tries and we had a few more gray sections. I can't remember, but I think we took out like 3 of the gray sections and they were, there's a little more space in between. But the 2 things that I was trying with this was just sort of like, I was playing around. I didn't expect this one to be the final one. So I tried to do a stockinette wave, thinking like maybe some of them should be in stockinette and that would be cool. I didn't really like it, but here's just a message to you that if you like that, hey, you could actually work your knits as knits on the right side and purls on the wrong side when you're doing your short row shaping. It's your knitting. So if you like that better, you could totally do that. The other thing that I was playing with on this version was the way that I did the wrap and turns and the joins. And I just had a lot of trouble finding a join method, or not a join method, but like a resolving method. Let's see, I'll show you some of my earlier tries that I was happy with. They just, like a lot of my early tries didn't look right on both sides. Like they would look good on one side, but then on the other side, they looked weird. So that's just to say what I ended up giving you advice to do to resolve those and to work those wrap and turns and all that stuff. Like it was one of many ways that I tried to do it, and it eventually worked well for me and I'm happy with how that turned out. But also, like, if you find that you want to try it a different way, some people prefer different kinds of short row shaping, you might as well try it if you're interested in that kind of experimentation. Like I settled on this way because I think it's the best way, but a lot of people have other short row shaping methods like German short rows and all of those. So if you like one of those methods, feel free to go for it. My patterns are always like, I tried really hard to make this like the best advice I can give you, but eventually it's your knitting. So you can do it however you want. So that was our sort of first try. And then I got another skein of yarn with fewer pale gray bits, whales or whales, and went with the final one. So yeah.
Nice. And do you want to show the where you substituted yarns?
Yes. So I made one with this neon pink which my camera can barely even handle. I really, really love this. And it was very fun to knit as far as like the colors got me very excited. And this yarn, the background colors are a sweet Georgia cashmerino or merino cashmere. And the pink is some kind of, oh, it's like a poppy. I can't remember. I should have written that down. Anyway, if you want to know the pink, I'll tell you in the comments or something. But I followed the direction, or, you know, like I created instructions in the pattern for substituting yarn, so that if you want to knit this pattern again, you absolutely can. And Catherine will have this yarn for sale again next year. But in the meantime, if you want to stash bust, the instructions are there. It works. It creates a really cool cowl. But let me tell you, the ends, the number of ends that need to be woven in, like I needed an entire extra knitting session just for ends. So it is a lot more laborious to do this with a yarn that doesn't change color by itself. And you also have to, instead of just continuing on for the short rows, you have to kind of slip a bunch of stitches back in order to like knit them again with the new color in order to resolve the color change. It's totally doable. I did it. I loved it. It is more work than doing with self-striping, which is like kind of how self-striping yarn works, how it's so magical. And one of the things that Catherine and I are always trying to do when we create projects together is have a yarn and a project that go together so that you can just like follow the guidance of the yarn. Like when the yarn changes, then you do a thing. And that's a really enjoyable process for me. And I hope that it is for you too. But you can also substitute. So if you get it in your heart to do that, I think it's really cool. And then you can add in like a crazy neon like I did. I know I'll be wearing this in the fall when it's dark and I need some bright cheeriness.
I also feel like for stash busting, each one of those could be a different color, and that'd be amazing.
Rainbow! Somebody please do a rainbow one where each one is like, maybe the background is like a gray and then each one is like a continuation of a rainbow color. That would be amazing. Okay.
All right. Well, there is our August club.
Yeah, thank you everybody for joining us. Like for the club members and people who are just curious about the club maybe for next year, we just really appreciate your enthusiasm. I think this is our 7th year and we keep doing it because people keep buying it. So we really appreciate everybody's enthusiasm and like participation in this. This is like a collaboration between all of us, and yeah, we really appreciate you.
We do. Thank you. And as Andrea just said, a collaboration. Like we put together what we think is a super fun project with the yarn and the pattern, but also if you're knitting it, you're part of that collaboration. And so whatever you like, however it speaks to you, is great and exciting. And if you choose not to do exactly what we did, that's cool too. Like if it gets you excited to do something else, that's great. So yeah. And the place you can share that with us is the I think we got some lag today. Sorry.
We are not in sync. Okay, our Ravelry group and our Facebook group. You can find the Gauge Ravelry group, and we are chatting there about these projects, and on my Facebook. And yeah, so there are links. There are links to that. Where are there links to that? In the email that you got. If you're a club member, there are links to that in the email that you got. And then if you are not a club member, you are welcome to lurk or whatever. Just look up the Ravelry group for Gauge Dyeworks, and that's probably your best fit.
Well, I guess we are open to any questions or comments.
Yeah, so if you have anything that you want to know about the projects or about our design process or anything like that, please feel free to ask.
And while we're waiting, Andrea, would you like to wait? Can I do a little reveal over here?
You do it.
Oh, I'm having trouble resolving my whale/white cap. Any video?
There is a video from a long time ago for the standard joining of the knit side, but I'm guessing it's the wrong side that you're struggling with, and I do not have a video of that yet, but it is on my list because you're not the first one to ask. So somebody asked about how do I design patterns, or how did I learn to design patterns, and then somebody saying, I wish I had joined. I love the Yarns and Project. I'm so happy that you said you wish you had joined, because we will sell these next summer, and then we'll have another different club. But the video, yeah, I have that on my list. So I will see if I can get that for you. The directions, like, if you can just like, they seem a little weird, but if you can just like do exactly what's in there, like it does work. It just seems like kind of a long paragraph, but I'll work on the video. And I will say I learned to design patterns by trying to do it and by knitting a lot of patterns. I knit from a lot of other people, and I knit a lot. And then I tried designing, and then I worked with technical editors, and then I talked to other knitters, and it's been a very long process, and there is not really a place to go to school for it. I looked into that when I was new. But that's a long story, and I will actually say, if you're in Victoria, I'm going to be at the Victoria Knitters Guild next Wednesday talking about pattern design. So if you're curious about that question, it's at 10 a.m. at St. Luke's Church, and people are welcome to come if you would like. But let's go ahead and you have a reveal for us.
I have a reveal. This is Andrea's reveal. Wait, here it goes. Here it goes. Ta-da!
I have a new book.
There we go.
And
Andrea has a new book, and I got my copy before she did.
Yes, this is funny that the review copies and like the advanced copies all got sent out before my copies got sent out. So I'm seeing all my friends have received my book, and there's a box supposedly in the mail, and I have yet to see it. So I'm told it's lovely.
It is. It's beautiful.
So the book is called Knit-Ovation Stitch Dictionary, and it has 150 new motifs. So it's like a stranded color work stitch dictionary. That's a companion to my book, Alternate Stitch Dictionary, which hopefully you already have. Yay. But they kind of go together. They have similar motifs, or like the same humorous vibe and colorful, joyful vibe. There's my first book. Yes, there you go. Alternate. Thank you. But this one has a big section on yarn, which is one thing that Catherine was kind of flipping through and showing at the beginning. And it has a sweater pattern, a hat pattern, and mitts. And I actually have not showed the sweater, the hat, or the mitts anywhere yet. There aren't photos, I don't think, anywhere online. So I'm going to actually show them to you right now. So this is like a, woo, congratulations, you stayed till the end. Yeah. You're the first to see if you haven't already seen the book. So the sweater is a yoke, top-down yoke sweater, pullover with a floral motif and a bunch of pretty little vines. So that's the sweater. And this one has 13 sizes, and it goes up to, I think, 69-inch chest circumference. So a good range of sizes. Let's see, I've already ordered it, and I'm going to knit the free unicorn fart as a mug cozy for a friend who makes unicorn fart candles. Oh, that is beautiful. And what they're talking about here is that I have a special gift with pre-order. So if you pre-order from anywhere, then there's a little form on my website that you can fill out, and you can get 3 bonus motifs that aren't in the book. They're not anywhere. They're just for pre-orders. And the one that they were referring to is this one, unicorn farts. So we try and keep it light over here, and apparently farting unicorns are like a big cultural thing. So if you need this in your life, you can pre-order and get it free. And there's also some really lovely and serious trees. Not joking, serious. This is a beautiful forest. And then also some polar bears roller skating, which I called roller bear, R-O-L-A-R, roller. Yeah, I'm very proud of that. So, so those 3 motifs are just for the pre-order. So if you're interested in getting those, you can get them free with your pre-order. And then I'll show the mitts. So the next project is a pair of mitts with a nautilus on them. So we've got the ocean and the nautilus. So that's the second project in the book. And then the third project is the toque, which has really cool crown shaping. So those are the 3 projects from the book, and you saw it first here, folks. And that book is coming out October 10th. So if you pre-order, you'll get it shipped then. And the one other thing I'll mention about the book is that I am having a launch party at Beehive Wool, and that's going to be on October 22nd. And it's limited space, so if you want to come, you're going to need to reserve your spot. Letitia May says, can't wait. Thank you. So they will have a reservation page on their website that you can reserve your spot. It's free, but you do have to reserve. So I'll be chatting about the book and signing and things like that. Just a little party if you would like to join us for that. So, and then I have one last thing that I'm going to show you.
Okay. Yes.
Rainbow sock. So Catherine recently made this new yarn that I had nothing to do with. This was all her. But this new yarn is 76, right? Because there are 76 colors, which I have not gotten through all of them yet. But I'm knitting a sock. This is sort of big. With these rainbows and needed to have them. And so I've got like a ribbed cuff, and then I am working on, they're not done yet, but they're little hippos. Hippo socks. So once I finish, they'll have, that's their little hippo head and their little hippo butt.
I think it's going to be super, I was trying to see if I could find hippos to show people. I think until you get their backs.
Yeah, it's hard to be able to see exactly what it is, but that's from my book Alternate. That's not the original. Oh, there we go. Not the newest. Yeah, it's not from the new book. It's from the previous book, The Hippos.
Gotcha.
OMG, love that rainbow, right? Yes, I'm obsessed with this rainbow. It is so cheerful, and I am almost at the blues and purples, which I'm very excited about. So I think my second sock is not going to match. I'm just going to like keep going. Yeah, because nice. I love to just like start knitting and go. So so I just wanted to show that to you because it not only uses Catherine's awesome rainbow yarn, which I am obsessed with, but also one of my little color work motifs. So the thoughts of using the motifs for all sorts of things. And that one is from my book Alternate, which is available right now. So yeah, you don't have to wait for that one.
Excellent. Well, just a quick note on that yarn. My shop is everything is just marked as sold out because we're going to be at Knit City in 2 weeks in Vancouver, a week and a half in Vancouver, which is fine. It's totally fine. I'm feeling ready. My 76 came Monday. I can't wait to start it. Oh, yay. Thank you. So I will have that yarn with me at Knit City. And for everyone who's not going to Knit City, I will, when we get home, and then sleep for a couple of days, and then we'll come and restock the shop. So we'll have lots available the last week of September, beginning of October.
Yay, cool.
All right.
And we are going to repost this video. So if you just joined and you wanted to see the rest of it, or if you want to watch it elsewhere, we will repost it here on Instagram. And then also I'll post it on YouTube. And by tomorrow or the day after or so, there will be closed captions available on YouTube as well, because they have auto captions. So that's why it's important to me to use YouTube also, because you can then like skip through the video, which for me is a must. So if you want to see the whole thing and see the rest of our chat, it'll be on YouTube and Instagram. So
excellent. Well, thank you to everyone who's joined us and today, but also thank you to everyone who's joined us for the club. We really appreciate it. And I guess we'll see you later.
Yeah. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.